Hello, namaskar, good morning. It's 7th of October today. It's a Monday, first day of the week. I'm going to work again. And today I would like to talk an issue that people are facing maybe at the workplace, at school, at the marketplace, in a social life. Is that when you become committed to a spiritual life, it meaning that ethically you don't want to behave in such a way that will violate the codes of ethics of your church or your spiritual denomination. But the strange thing is that when you take an initiation or you take an induction into a particular school of thought, problems start to arise. People say that it seems like every particle of nature start to rebel against the organism, against a living entity, in some form of vendetta or revenge, opposition. And so people wonder what is happening. Why is it that they don't find acceptance between their friends? They're mostly alone, or but things start to improve for them personally. Their health improves, their harmony with nature laws improves. But they find that their social relations, even with family, right, may start to problem may start to arise. And so, if I can know one Catholic saint, as a little boy, he was very good at the conduct rules, very ethical, very, what people would say, divine child. One day he was walking on the road, the streets going down. His mind was on Jesus. He was thinking, he was praising the Lord within his mind. And he was accosted. Village boys, the loud ones, the hooters, hecklers, they just jump on him and start to hit him, kick him, beat him, and he died. So that was a story I read long ago, very long time ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago, and it left an impression on me that why is it that people who are trying to develop or grow spiritually, they have to face so much obstacles. I read one story also with Lahiri Mahasaya, the guru of Sri Yukteswar, or the Param Guru of Yogananda Paramhansa. He was a family man. He had children, wife. He had about 4 kids. And he was a clerk in a railway department, I think. But he had a problem with his boss. His boss was very tyrannical, always pressuring him. And one day the guru of the Lahiri appeared to the boss and said, "Why are you pressuring Lahiri? Why are you giving so much constraints to him?" So Lahiri Masaya was assisted by direct intervention of the guru. In fact, the supervisor became a devotee of the same school of thought, the same sect as Lahiri also. So we find this situation occurring where you have so much obstacles start to come, and in some cases they are solved miraculously, naturally, and in other cases they have to kind of born the disciple, and some of them are so you don't know what will come tomorrow or what the nature of the oppression will come. But Sri Anandamurti, he said, when you take initiation or diksha into the Ananda Marg, it's a tantric cult you're entering, and the tantric cult is a very fast way, a very speedy way towards liberation. Liberation means freeing your body from the shackles of pain, suffering, discomfort, disconcerting feelings, dogmas, narrow-mindedness, and so. So the mind gets expanded. You also start to perceive things in a very minuscule way, a very deep way, what they call intuitive way. Your sixth sense start to function, your ESP. And the more you give to the practice, the more you get the benefits of the mystical life. Like Ramakrishna said, grace is proportion to your degree of exertion. So the more you exhort, the more you get. And the problem is that the more you exhort, the more clash or problems you might get. Baba, the Ananda Mar Guru said, obstacle is a sign of progress. Those who are doing meditation, spiritual life, and they get no progress, no obstacle, it means it's a dead meditation. Meditation has no effect, it has no results, it has no vibrancy, no life in it. Admittedly, problems and so give you the adventure of life, the gist of life, you know. Or when it go down sometimes to the lower level, with people standing behind you, or people making sexual pervert jokes, and there's no way you can correct them except by noble and dignified resistance, you know. And some of them would laugh and take their jokes as in a silly way, what they call silly. They laugh, they behave silly. So these kind of things you have to put up. Many people do not respond to psychic pressure or to circumstantial pressure, you know. Then the next result is physical force, something you have to correct people by using if it's a very antisocial element, in human element against the code of human laws, you know. Humans have certain laws governing them, and they say animals do not bend to those levels sometimes, which human beings might take themselves. So we often want to keep ourselves in human ways, in human behavior, in human conduct. But we find it very hard sometimes, you know. We find it very hard because the force, what they say, the Yoga Maya, exert a price on you. It's pressure you to conform to the laws that govern the universe, the natural laws. When it's hot, you feel hot. When it's cold, you feel cold. When it's hungry, you feel hungry. You become susceptible to the demands of your body and senses, pleasures, pain. Whatever is there, you feel like you have to, like you're susceptible, you're sensitive to nature laws. You know, you have to suffer from hunger, thirst, old age, from appetites, from laws of nature, and so on. So what the yogi do is that the techniques they're giving you is opening another portal, another, what they call the fifth way. There's the first dimension, second, third, fourth, and there's a fifth. You open into the fifth way, as some people would refer to it. A way in which you can escape the play of the opposites, as the mystics say, the play of the polarities of nature, of life, of karma, you know. As long as we live, we have to perform action, and action always gives reaction. So we try to do good action so we get good reaction. But in this case, we want to know what is right action or what is wrong action. This gives birth to vivek, or discrimination. So we have to learn to follow the laws as given by the scriptures, as most people do. The holy books, the Bible, the Quran. This can make us right and wrong, give us what is right or wrong. This helps us from hurting people, from causing displacements or abnormality in nature. Nature's law reduces the effect on creation, on the cycles of nature, the natural laws. It saves us from many pains and aches and discomfort and diseases. So once we know to conduct ourselves with the right behavior, it becomes easier for us to live in the universe, to live with each other in a compatible way. Better yet, people seek to be in the presence of a perfect master, elevated soul, so they could know right from wrong. One who has elevated its conscience and consciousness, who has developed noble qualities, sensitivity to what is right and wrong. If you live among the people, you will pick up some of the habits. So that's why in many places around the world where they have great men live, they name those villages after those men. They name the street after people because of the effect, the good effect, the benevolent, not the malevolent, benevolent effect it has on the society. You know, Saint Margaret Mary of Cortona, she had two governors when she was a child. One was always sweet and nice to her, tolerant, and always praising her and loving her and giving all the affection. And the other one was very stern at times, correcting her when needed, and would use hard words at times. So later in life, they asked the saint when she matured into Saint Margaret Mary, and she told the story of her two governors. People asked her, they said, which of the two you like? She said the one that was sweet and the one that was hard, because she learned a lot from the one. But the one who was sweet all the time, she hardly learned anything. So is it with nature. We have to know how we deal with friendly forces and how we deal with unfriendly forces, because both exist. But how do we decipher or recognize the friendly from the unfriendly? Some people say we need a third eye. We have to open the third eye, which is actually the eye of intuition. The eye that can see what the physical eyes cannot see. You know, the Bible says the war we're fighting in our life is not a physical one. It deals with principalities that are invisible and dark powers and principalities. So if we cannot see our enemy, how are you going to fight him? So this call for intuition. The third eye has to open. And that's what you get during initiation, the opening of this point, the chakra, the Ajna chakra. It helps you to see. The more you practice, the more it develops. We know the story in the Dash Avatar with Vamana Avatar, the dwarf, when he came to visit Bali. And the discourses and dialogue exchange between himself and Bali at the visitation, at the onset of the visitation, the introductory phase between Bali and Vamana, was of such a high caliber for a young child, a Brahmin child with an umbrella over his head, Vamana dwarf Brahmin, that Sukracharya looked at the child very carefully, looked him over head to foot, and his third eye, people say he saw who it was. He uses third eye. It was Vishnu, God himself disguised. So he was only able to decipher that to the third eye. So many sages and spiritual practitioners are able to do the same thing, but not on such a large scale. But on a much smaller scale, they can decipher, they could recognize, and they can filter things out for their own benefits of the life and their own well-being. And from time to time we have to face antagonistic people, antisocial people, people without conscience, people without morals and values, where they prey upon the innocent, the righteous, and the good, so that they can live, they can exist, they can perpetuate their existence. You know, they say the black magician, the Vamamarga Tantric, those who do witchcraft, evil, sorcery, they get life by taking the life from others, by taking the virtues, by taking the essence of others. They get more life. By absorbing it, they say they expand, they get bigger, and they get more and more life. While on the other hand, they say the saint, he gets more life by giving life to others. By giving life to others, the law of karma, he gets back life. What you do comes back to you. So these are the two polarity of following the positive and the negative path, the evil and the good. So in reality, we have forbidden zones that we cannot venture into. They are dark and ominous lifestyles that we cannot incorporate, which is not good for ourselves and which can overspill into our environments, affecting children, people, society, living, non-living things. If you ever go into a place where the dark power is radiating, you can see the aura, how it's creepy and spooky looking. Halloween is coming up on the 31st of October, and they say that many of the spirits and the ghosts will be roaming the streets. Gates will be open and the spirits and spooks will be roaming. Incidentally, during September, the gates were open. According to the Hindi book, just known as Pitar Pak, it opened for I think 1 month. And your ancestors, relatives who passed away, they can visit your home while you sleep. They can come and see their relatives, and they are there in the astral invisible form, moving around society, seeing their old dwelling places, their own places that they took birth on other planets, dimension, astral planes, even the earth planes. They come to see you even while you're sleeping. They pass their hands, touch their kids, their grandchildren, their children, their loved ones, and we can't see. So in this time during Pitar Pak, the Hindu priests or sometimes they offer oblations and so to the ancestors and departed scientists, inventors, and rishis as they call. In another mark, every day when you finish bathing, you have to do a yajna, Pitir yajna, offered, and they say your ancestors, the saints, the people, they will be benefited. It's called Pitir yajna. Pitir pura se bo nama, rishi de bo nama, Brahmar panam, Brahmavi, Brahmagano, Brahmanahutam, Brahma evate nagantavam, Brahma karma samadina. My respect to the ancestors, Petirs, Rishi, to the inventors and the scientists. This act is Brahma, that which is offered is Brahma. The fire which consumed the act is Brahma. In the our goal is to attain Brahma, and after all this is finished, we will become one with Brahma. That is the meaning of Ananda Marg Pitir Yajna. We have to do it after bath. Well, whenever we bathe, whether 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, it's good for us, for the ancestors in the afterlife, in the other planes, the Pitir Loks, some Pitir Priya Lok, and these places that they are in. You know, you can read Sivananda's book, What Becomes of the Soul After Death, by Sri Swami Sivananda. I have 2 copies. I gave one to my sister. It's a very good book. It tells you what happens when you die and where the soul goes, and about ghosts, ectoplasmic projection, and so on. It's very good, you know. So on this day here, let's hope that we can all able to live in close harmony with nature as we practice our spiritual life and follow the ethics. Ethics help us to bring us in harmony with creation, with naturalness, you know, and the practices that we do, the prayers, the magical formulas, the incantations, they help to keep the fervor, the thirst for spirituality burning and kindling it, you know. I remember one teacher was telling me that spiritual aspirants get plenty of problems when they start to meditate or they're leading a spiritual life. And one of the reasons is that for many lifetime, for many cycles of creation, nature was controlling them. The 5 elements were controlling them. This happens, that becomes. So when you start to do spiritual practice and counter the effects of the stars, the planets, nature laws, the 5 elements, There's some aggravation, there's some counter effect as the old forces try to regain dominion or domination over you. And there's a fight. If you read in the books, the old books, the gods and the demons fight for days and months and years until one conquers the other. So eventually spiritual will win. Good always conquer evil. Jesus defeated the devil on the cross. That's what the Bible says. So good always conquer evil. So eventually they say the good and the aspiring aspirant will win. Our guru says that God becomes a servant of his devotee. Once you are a genuine devotee, he becomes your servant. So imagine that, how great is a devotee as compared to the intellectual and the karmi, the man of action, the karma yogin. So we have to act, and then we have to feel the consequence of our actions. So we should try to do good action. That's why we have the yamas and the niyama, the 10 commandments, the ethical principles. In all organization, in all employments, we have ethical life. In fact, the court of laws, when you swear on the Bible or the Gita, Quran, it's based on the ethical, the judicial system is based on the laws of religion. So if people saying that religion has nothing to do with science and technology, this can be rebutted, because Einstein himself said science without religion is nonsense, and religion without science is nonsense. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, he said, a doctor who is a philosopher is a god on earth. And we know in the days of Oyo, the ancient time, it was a doctor who was controlling all the branches of medicine. But when medicine started to expand into radiology, into medical technology, into pharmacy, into nursing, and all these areas, physiotherapy and so on, they had to form other personnel. Even though we work in hospital, the doctors still want to take over everything. So then we have to realize that there are no classification of his work into pharmacy and nursing and medics and so on. So there's a ramification of medical system into various aspects. It's not right to say that science or the workplace has nothing to do with religion. Religion produce good citizens. It is the greatest genetic engineering, because once you change and you create a spiritual nature, people who will come after you, your children, your grandchildren, your cousin, your nephew, they will also inherit those qualities. So it's genetic engineering being done there. So to say that religion is bad, when you create and become a good citizen, you're an asset in any organization, in any place of employ or work. So it's very ignorant and it's very sadistic and wicked to say that religious people who follow genuine religion and good religion are a bad egg in a basket or a bad apple in a card. They have no value in a system. That's very wrong. So our mind has to change, our angle of vision has to change. We have to remove the pull of the lower chakras, the lower forces, and enjoy the bliss of the higher states of mind, So like they say, the Buddhists would say, may you be reborn in an interesting time. Meaning that there's so much temptation and so much comfort and luxury. That's a course in Buddhism. May you be reborn in an interesting time. That it will pull your mind out into the physical world. You can't get to go in and seek the Dharma and to practice intuitional practices, So the Guru and Anamar Guru said, let all be blessed. Let everybody see the bright side of things, He wishes us and bless that we do not see what is bad and evil. This way he's telling us it's possible to coexist in a virtuous way, in a positive way, without having to exhibit negativity, The world is so complicated and so diverse and so rich that we don't have to express negativity to make our life richer and better, you know. But for want of virtue and want of ethics and morality, we sometimes have to correct people and use strong words. But this is also part of religion, you know, dharmic practices. So namaskar and a happy Monday. Let's hope the week turns out positive and negative forces and negative people refrain from showing us what is bad and what is negative, and we have a positive growth and unfoldment in the physical world also. Namaskar, happy Monday.